So here we are testing out this Autophix 7110. And what I'm doing is rolling through the functions for this review video. I'm seeing what it can and cannot read. And I'm looking at the window switch information in the scanner. All right. I'm looking in the driver's door module. I'm going to back up here. So I'm in the driver's door module. And I'm in the read data stream, view all the items, and now I'm looking at the driver's front and passenger front window switches. Auto down, auto down. You need something like this in order to diagnose today's cars. Let me explain more. Welcome to my review of the Autophix 7110 Volvo multi-system scanner. It's multi-system because it can read every control module in the vehicle, which is what you need these days. My guinea pig is a 2007 Volvo XC70 wagon that we're going to be using to see what this thing is capable of doing. A couple of the functions they have is battery reset. Well, like when you replace a battery, you got to reset the battery monitor in the modules. There's a throttle body control reset, a oil reset, and the electronic parking brakes. For today's cars that have electronic parking brakes, you have to retract them in order to do the brakes and then reset them once you're done doing the brakes. So we're going to open this thing up, plug it in, and see what we can do with it. All right, so we got it plugged in. Crank this baby up, get you a good view. Roll the window up so it's quiet in the shop. All right, it starts right up, which is pretty nice. This does have some warnings on. I believe that's like a traction light and a park assist service light. All right, so OBD2, this is not touchscreen, but OBD2, you're going to be able to plug into any car and just read OBD2 codes. What that's going to do is find which way it communicates, tell you if the malfunction indicator light is on or off, and you're going to be able to read codes from any car. All right, here we got a P0193 stored in there, and that's it. So we can check that against the actual codes. Let me get out of here. All right, so that's where you pick the model. Here's if we're going to do straight oil reset. It'll either tell you how to do it or do it through the car's computers. Same thing with the parking brake, the battery. Let's see what we do with the battery here. Okay, so it looks like it's going to do a battery check, which is nice. Here's where you would reset the battery information in the control modules. Now, I'm not sure what control module does what. I am not a Volvo tech. I'm a Mercedes tech, but we do have a Volvo tech in-house here that's now working on Mercedes, so he can provide some more information as to what would be common to do in these cars. All right, throttle valve, and then of course a tool setup. All right, we can get rid of that beeper. How about that? Boom, there we go. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick Volvo. Gives you some information that you're able to turn off. So just telling you how to save the records after the test or whatnot. All right, so we're gonna go through, identify the vehicle, see how this works in real time. All right, so when you go up and down, you go selection by selection. If you look here, you're on selection 3 of 20, 2 of 20, 1 of 20. If I go forward, it jumps a whole page. All right, 8 of 20. Now we're at 15 of 20, so I'm going to go to the, where'd it go? XC70. I got an 07. Again, gas engine. This is correct. And we're going to do a system scan. Now what it's doing is it's going to scan to see what modules reply back. These kind of scanners do not know 100% what should be installed in the car. All they're doing is see what's communicating and communicating back. All right, they're seeing what it can talk to. Let's say you have a trans module issue and you cannot communicate with it. It may not even show up on the scan. So you gotta kind of know what's supposed to show up, so that way you know if you're dealing with a module that's not working at all, or maybe there's a blown fuse to it, or it's not connected. Right? So just because it doesn't show up on a scan does not mean it's not in the car. These are ones that report back and report back with an issue. And it's showing you how many that it's checking, 12 of 12. Now it's on 13 of 13. It's going pretty quick. I don't think this model has that many modules in it. You can see how it's doing it real time. It's still about 4 minutes in from the moment of starting this recording. So it's not too bad. There we go, 15 control modules. All right, so they're showing 14, meaning only 14 reported back of the 15 possible. All right, so now let's go ahead and double check that code in the engine module. And see, now it's got a different fault code. To me, that's a Volvo specific fault code, when the other P code is a generic fault code, we would call it. All right, and actually there's actually more fault codes. So that's the difference between a generic scan and a manufacturer scan, is because the generic scan would only scan and find the codes that are current, where a manufacturer scan can find codes that are stored, that are still in the module. So you got more codes hiding in there. All right, now I'm going to back out, but all of these modules you can see that are reporting back, any one you go into, you get the same options. You get to see the version of the module. Okay. You get to read the fault codes from the module. You get to clear the fault codes from the module, and then you get to read the data stream of the module. What the data stream is, the live data, meaning what the module is seeing, you can see. So right now, I'm going to press the gas pedal, and the voltage changed. So if you're looking to diagnose a gas pedal issue, you got to see what the control module is seeing, and then you would compare it with like a meter hooked up to the wires. So as I'm pressing the gas, these numbers are changing. All right, that's why we use live data, to see what the module is seeing. This thing can see everything. Now what it can't do is I can't select any of these, and I can't graph, and I can't record. So it does have some limitations, but the fact that it can read all of the modules, that I'm happy with. In fact, let me double check that we cannot graph and record. Let's select something specific. Okay. And yeah, there is no graphing. It's just, you can pick which one you want to see instead of reading the whole list of things. All right. So now in the beginning of the video, I was checking a door switch, because you need something like this for live data. In a car, let's say you get a car and the window isn't working, and you're old school mechanic, you would think, oh, probably a bad motor, or oh, it's just a bad switch. Well, the problem is that now everything's a control module. So when you're pulling a switch, the switch isn't putting power directly to the motor. The switch is a signal to a module. If it's not the module itself, then the module activates the relay, which then turns on the motor. So you have to see what the scanner's showing you in order to know if you're actually reading anything from the switch. And you kind of can't test a lot of the switches. Some of them you can test resistance to, but if they're data lines, you can't check the data line because it's so fast, a meter won't catch it. So you got to see with a control or with a scanner if the control module is actually reading the signal, right? So let's say I had a motor that wasn't doing anything, and I was using this, and the scanner was not recognizing the switch being pulled. Well, then I know that I'm dealing with a switch issue, right? Or if it's recognizing the switch is being pulled, but the motor's not working, now I know I got a module issue or a wiring issue or a motor issue, right? And then I would do my testing from there. So you got to have something like this in today's cars. And by today's cars, I pretty much mean anything after 2000, because this is a 2007, and you can see how many modules are in here. You should see a 2020. There's damn near 30 to 40 control modules in there. So he does have fault codes. So let's check the ABS fault codes and see what we got in there. All right, so he's got a communication issue, and one of them has to do with the steering angle sensor. All right, okay, I keep wanting to press to the right. So we got steering angle sensor issues. So let's try this. Let's go to steering wheel angle sensor. Let's read the data stream. So here's a steering wheel position. Now watch when I turn it. See the numbers change? the steering wheel angle. Okay, that's how it knows if there's a failure with the steering wheel angle sensor, is the numbers don't move smooth. They'll jump around. All right, so I'm getting back to 0, which is dead center, and the numbers should go negative. Oh, they're not. In this one, they actually go positive again. In other cars, they go negative one way, positive the other way. But you would rotate this a whole 360 and see if that number incrementally climbs, or if it jumps around, then you know you got a bad sensor, or if it cuts out, goes back to 0, right? So that's why you need something like this to tell what's going on with the car. All right, so let's get out of here. This is pretty straightforward. There's not much I can really show because you can't activate anything, but the key thing with this one is you can read all of the car's modules, you can read the live data. With those two things, that gets you that much closer to know what the issue is. So this is a very handy scanner. I do like them. I really do love the bi-directional ones though, where you can control things, just because it helps with diagnosis a little bit more than you having to activate the items yourself. So this does show all the modules. So I do not want to exit. Let me see what else I can show you guys here. I'll go back to the driver's door module to show you what I was talking about again. All right, so I'm going to press the brakes. Oh, that's for the dash. Okay, the brake light is off in the dash. Where am I at here? Where did I go? Oh, driver information. That was a cluster. Oops. Made a mistake. Driver's door module. Read the data stream. We're going to select items. I want to read the front left windows, not auto, front left window switch down, front left up, front right down, front right up. What else we got? Rear left up. All right, so I got what I wanted to see all selected. So now I'm going to do the front left up, activated, down, activated, passenger side up, activated, passenger side down, activated. We got driver's rear up, and then let me go to the next screen. We got right rear down. So I'm seeing everything I'm doing over here. You need that in today's cars to know what you're doing is working or not, right? So if I were to pull this and nothing were to read, I know that I now have to focus on the switch because it's not recognizing the switch. So either the switch is bad or the module is bad. If there's a standalone module, because I'm not sure if this is the actual module, sometimes the window switches are the module in cars. So just want to make you guys aware of that. And that's really cool that you can do this with this little thing. It does have the port for updating, right, and or taking files out of this. So that's basically all you can really do with this thing, is read all the control modules, see the live data, clear codes, read codes. You know, it gets you that much closer to diagnosis. Escape here. Let's try special functions. Let's see what we got here. All right. So it's got some resets you can do. Reset the transmission, calibration, only vehicles with DSTC, resetting the crash mode and the airbag. So it does have some extra resets you can do in here. All right. And again, I'm not too fluent with Volvo, but we do have a Volvo tech here in house now that's been working on Mercedes-Benz for about a year or so. So provide some information with this stuff. But there you go. Let's check the battery check. All right, so turn off the engine. Okay, start the engine. All right, so the voltage went down to 9.42. All right, So just a little bit of a battery check, not too much of a thorough one. So there you go. So hey, as far as a review, I like this thing. I like it because you can read all the control modules. That's very important in today's cars. When you have the ones that read just an engine module, that's usually what we call a generic scan tool, because it just reads the codes out of the engine module, and most time it's not a manufacturer specific computer code, which you've seen in here. Between the OBD generic, it gave us one code, or going into the actual module, it gave us what, 5 or 6 codes. So when you do a throttle body, you do have to do the resets, right? The Volvo Tech confirmed you do have to do the resets. If you have a battery that has a battery sensor on the negative cable, you do have to reset the battery monitor system, so that way it can recheck the resistance from the battery from start till when it gets low. But hey, if it's something you're interested in, I'll leave a link down below to the seller's Amazon page. All right, I'm not paid for these videos. I do these on my own accord. The companies send me these products for a review. I do this to help share with you guys, and if it's something that would be helpful for you. I'm not trying to sell you this thing, right? I do like it. I would recommend getting it if you do work on Volvos. This is specifically for Volvo. They also offer them for Jaguar, Land Rover, and some Mercedes-Benz. So the tool number for the Jaguar Land Rover is 7310, and the one for the Benz is 7770. So if you're interested, check those out. There may be a coupon code down below too. The sellers usually give me a coupon discount for my viewers to purchase it. So hey, good luck to you. I hope you enjoyed. If you do tend to buy it, hope you like this review. Check out my other review videos. I try to do review videos because I'm an indecisive buyer. So I try to watch review videos to understand what it is I'm looking at. You know, if it's something that's going to benefit me. Because it stinks to order something, get it in, try it doesn't work, and then what do? Want to waste time trying to send it back, or hope you get your money back or something like that, right? So hopefully this gives you some more insight onto the product. If it's something you like, you know, if it is, I hope it works out for you. Leave in the comments if you have used this, if you have any pros or cons. That'll help everybody else, you know, make a decision themselves. So hey, thanks for checking out my channel. Hope you enjoyed it. You guys take care.